Rick here, coming at you with my final, the last, the 8th Grey Knights Brotherhood Redesign video. This time, we're going to talk about the Rapiers, because they're all that's left. This will be an interesting one, so hold on to your butts. The Rapiers. So the general lore, this has been interesting, trying to find information about the Rapiers, but they're currently led by Grandmaster Anvil Laron, which actually might not be true, depending on what source you use. He might have been replaced, either he died or was replaced, whatever. And his title is the High Seneschal of the Fortress, or the Citadel of Titan, depending on which source you use. So they believe in surgical strikes, yes, but when that fails, they actually maintain a huge supply of servitors to just use in like body wave attacks and defeat the enemy or cause a distraction, while their strike teams actually go around and complete the objective from another angle. It's very interesting. So the current state, deadly efficacy is their stratagem. It costs 1 CP. Anytime that you make a hit roll of 6, you score an additional hit. That's it. I like it. It's okay. I think it needs a little bit of a tweak, but otherwise it's a great stratagem, and it's cheap at 1 CP. Their Warlord's trait is Inescapable Wrath. You are eligible to charge your Warlord is if you've advanced. Not bad. Also think that this needs a little modification, but otherwise it's good. Symphonic Strike. Warp charge value of 6. This is why everybody takes the Rapiers. This power is amazing. You cast it, and that unit gets 1 more extra attack. So you are increasing your amount of attacks by about 33% on average. Design philosophy. So this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where if you're trying to find the lore of this Brotherhood, things get a little weird. But we want to go ahead and create an army that has fast, strong assaults that deal the enemy a great amount of damage quickly. I'm going to focus on heavy assault weapons, especially, including side cannons. And then servitors are going to be a huge part of this redesign, where we're going to utilize them in a way that the game has never seen. And maybe it's garbage, I don't know, but it is thematic, and I think it's interesting. So their passive bonuses. Weapons wielded by infantry with the heavy keyword count as having remained stationary after any normal move, after they arrive via Gate of Infinity, via teleport strike, or using the teleport shunt stratagem. Additionally, everything is counted as having +1 strength. So all infantry-based heavy weapons are going to have +1 strength. Now that means that your silencers are going to be strength 5, and your side cannons are going to be strength 8. Here's where things get really, really weird. Number 2. Servitors within a Rapier's detachment gain a 6-up invul save, a 6-up feel no pain, and they count as having the objective secured ability. When servitor units are placed in a Battlefort army, they can be placed into a no-force org slot with a total limit of 3 per detachment, regardless of whether or not a tech marine is present. If a tech marine is present, then a total of 6 can be added per tech marine. Third passive. After killing a unit in melee combat until the start of your next turn, that unit counts as either being objective secured if it did not have it previously, or it counts as doubled objective secured if it had it before. Charge them with 5 Terminators, kill some intercessors. You now have 10 models on the objective, not 5. And then finally, once per game per unit, pick 1 Rapier's core or character unit to be in the Tide of Celerity. This tide is considered to be active along with the tide that the rest of the army is in. This ability allows a tide to be used again that was previously used. You've all seen this before in all of my other Brotherhood redesign videos. I really like the tides, and I wanted to see each individual Brotherhood use them slightly differently. All right, I said the stratagem needs a little bit of work, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the base of additional hit rolls of 6, score an additional hit, but what I'm going to add is unmodified ruled roll of 6 also adds an additional -1 AP. So you could have -4 AP Nemesis Force Swords if you wound on 6s. The Warlord trait, again, we're going to keep Advance and Charge, because Advance and Charge is really, really good. Although I don't think that's worth a Warlord trait 1 CP now in the Nephilim world by itself. So we're also going to add that after completing a successful charge, this Warlord may reroll all hits. Just all hits. And then their relic. So this is one of the ways I think we got boned in the 9th edition codex, is that all of the Brotherhoods didn't get a relic, so I'm adding this one to the Rapier specifically. The Vox control circuits can only be placed on a tech marine. Servitor units within 6 inches of the bearer always pass morale tests, and then servitor units within 6 inches of the bearer have their invul and their feel no pain increased from 6+ to 5+. So it'll make them a lot harder to kill. At least that's the idea. Okay, what would an example list look like? So this is a battalion, 2,000 points. You start with 3 CP. This is a Nephilim build. So for HQs, we're going to go with 2 Tech Marines. One's going to have Warp, Shaping, and Telling of Locus. The other will have Noble Death, Vox Control Circuits, and Gate of Infinity. The Vox Control Circuits are the Relic. And then we're going to take the Grandmaster Dread Knight with Demon Slayer, Inescapable Wrath, that's the new Warlord trait, this Psy Cannon, this Silencer, Empiric Amplification, and Gate of Infinity. So we have a little bit of redundancy there with Gate. So I give him the Great Hammer because with Inescapable Wrath, when they charge, he can reroll all of his hits anyway, so having the -1 to hit isn't really a big deal. In no Force Org slots, we're going to have 6 4-man Servitor squads. In this build, you could actually run 12, which would be interesting, but we're going to run 6. For troops, we're going to have 3 5-man strike squads, 1 side cannon in each of those squads. We're going to have 20 interceptors and fast attack. 1 is in a 10-man and 2 are in 5-mans. We're going to combat squad, obviously, that second group into 2 5-mans. I kept the 10-man because the Rapier power is still very, very good on large blobs of units. We're going to run in there. We're going to spend 1 CP for the stratagem for exploding 6s to hit and extra AP on 6s to wound. And we're going to have 1 more attack per member of that 10-man. That's also why they aren't carrying heavy weapons. And then in heavy support, I took 2 Nemesis Dread Knights with swords, teleporters, Psy Cannon, and silencers. You could drop these for more purgation squads if you wanted. In fact, there's some play on maybe a 10-man purgation squad with nothing but storm bolters for the purgator specific stratagem. But I didn't do that. I love my Dread Knights. I know people hate them, but I love them. So here we are. And then we're going to have 1 5-man purgation squad with Psy Cannons. Now, how would this army play? The Gate of Infinity on 2 different HQs, so you can keep the pressure up for teleport assault on your purgation squads and your Dread Knights. Teleport assault is like made for the Rapiers, especially now because they don't take the penalty from moving and firing their heavy weapons. All they have to do is arrive and then kill it. So they can kill it in shooting, they can kill it in melee, whatever. Like, this is like made for it, especially love teleport assault for the Rapier. Inescapable Wrath is fantastic because people are so scared of those Grandmaster Dread Knights, and they should be, because with Demon Slayer, you're going to have 7 attacks, you're going to be rerolling all your hits with Inescapable Wrath, you're going to be able to advance and charge. This thing is gnarly. Other than units that can only take a certain number of wounds a turn, this guy is going to lay the absolute smackdown on anything. And because it can advance and charge, it's got a huge threat range. And the servitors are there just as a ton of bodies to bog down objectives. They are hard to kill with an invul. They have the feel no pain with the Vox control circuits. Both of those things are even more powerful. You can screen with them, move block with them, take out smites with them. They're just going to be super cheap, obnoxious, objective secured units that the enemy has to deal with. They can't just ignore them because they're OBSEC. If your enemy, say, charges your strike squad on an objective with Vanguard veterans, kills them all, guess what? There's 4 servitors still standing there, and you still own that objective. I think this is interesting. It's making a not good unit more better, if you will. I know that's not proper English, but it also plays into their lore that I could find pretty well. And then Psy Cannons are going to be on everything, not suffering from the -1 to hit penalty. The only thing that doesn't have Psy Cannons on it, that's infantry, are obviously the servitors, and then of course the interceptors, because you want them moving around the board, being obnoxious and being a melee threat. And if you have that Psy Cannon, they're just not the same for the melee threat at all. So there you go. That's how I think the Rapiers could be improved and become a better and more interesting Brotherhood than what we got. Not to say that they're bad now. I think they're one of the better. They're the second best Brotherhood right now. But I still don't think that they really hit that power curve that we're seeing with all the new codices like Tyranids and Votan. So, with that said, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I'm putting together tons of notes on what I think an Army of Renown would look like. I really want to make the Honored Knight keyword do something, and I think I have some pretty interesting ideas on how to make that work. So check back with me soon, and I apologize for the delay on these videos. Summer is finally coming to an end, and I should have more time to do this stuff moving forward. So thank you very much, and don't forget, call your mother.